As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Kingsport mother is still missing. Layla Santinello has been missing since June 27, 2023. Witnesses state that she ran from the AmeriCorps Hotel the day before. My friend Chronicles of Olivia and I, we have been here several times searching for Layla Santinello, which bring us to places like this abandoned golf course facility. Many places like this exist across Kingsport, Tennessee, making it very difficult to find where Layla's whereabouts could be. It's places like this that keep us concerned. Where could Layla Santinello be? Is she out there somewhere? The details Chronicles of Olivia and I have found out are highly disturbing, and I can tell you, based on the information we've heard and learned, someone knows something. Where is Layla Santinello? Will anyone come forward? Will anybody be willing to tell the truth? Will anyone stand up and help the Santinello family? After running several stories about Layla Santinello, several people came forward. One of the last places Layla was seen was in this field, coming out of the woods. We have searched everywhere. We have posted flyers all over Kingsport, Tennessee, seeking answers in the disappearance of Layla Santinello. We're asking anybody with any information to please come forward. We're doing our part to search for Layla Santinello. We need the community's help. We're asking anybody and everyone, please come forward if you have any information about Layla Santinello or the people she was with the afternoon of June 27th. We are doing our part. Are you willing to do yours?
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Well, hello, my beautiful people of YouTube, Bullhorn Betty, this Tuesday evening, June 7th. And if you haven't heard the news, it's freaking cold out, y'all. Now, I don't know about you kamikaze guys out there that like the cold weather. I'm in Florida. Take this stuff back. It belongs with you. It doesn't belong here. I'm just saying. Take your cold back. Take your cold back. Guys, it's great to see you this evening. I wanted to tell you, you guys remember I told you I was getting the deception deck. Boop, 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 boop. I don't want to hit the thing again. I don't have clappy hands. I only have the bullhorn. I think I just wore it out. So I'm not going to do it again. But I want to say, woohoo! Yeah, we got the deception deck. We got the deception deck. So we're going to be going through this. We're gonna create like a live problem. I would say tomorrow morning, but frozen tundra here. I'm calling for a snowball fight. Oh, good gracious, mermaid! I'm telling you, you northern folks, take your cold back. Nobody asked you to send it down here, okay? It's like the redheaded stepchild. You guys sent the redheaded stepchild to Florida. Take it back. Take it back. Oh, Lord. So when I got in, I was at the county meeting today for most of the day. It's legislative priority. So I was a little scatterbrained earlier. And so I did the rest of my meeting. I did it from home, but I did do the rest of my meeting while I did some research. Oh my gosh, imagine that. I only had the horn button. We need new buttons. So we need new buttons. I have 2 feet of snow. I'm blowing your way. Don't make me get the attack dog on you, Justin. I'm teaching her how to take a bite out of crime, and I need a butt to practice on. I might use yours for practice. It's 9 here, 5 real feel. Oh, good gracious. You guys need to take this stuff back. I don't want it no more. All right. I'm firing the cold weather. Okay. It's got to go home. Okay. I've just put my foot down. It's got to go back home. It's got to go back to you guys. So anyways, coming back in, I didn't have a lot of time. So I did do some updating on this, but you know what shocked me for real is we didn't process. It's kind of weird because when we start talking about things, I start reading chats. We start getting in -5 degrees. Oh, well, you can keep that all by yourself. Okay. That's okay, Justin. You know what? I've always wanted to hang out with you. You know, I've always wanted to see your abode, but you know what? I just can't make it. I'm not feeling too well. You know, it seems like it might be a little too cold there. So long story short is I got back here, I started doing some research, but before that, you know, I did go live. It was a little bit of scatterbrain live. I'm coming to Florida. There's room. And, we started talking about the whole Fifth Amendment, you know, because at night, private intelligence put out a statement that they believe, you know, according to their source, they believe the mom invoked her right to the Fifth Amendment, right? Or to invoke her right to remain silent. That's what they have a right to do, to remain silent, you know? And so we were talking about it. And of course, I'm sitting there going through it. You know, I'm playing the tape through live on TV here, you know, on YouTube. And I said, you know, we were talking about, it's like, wait a minute. The only way she can really invoke her rights is if her rights were given to her. So if law enforcement is only reaching out to her, I mean, let's think about this, folks. If law enforcement's only reaching out to her just to give her updates on the case, would she be invoking her right to remain silent? And if she's not invoking her right to remain silent after getting, say, an update, then what would make her invoke her right to remain silent? Because something did, if true. And I think we stumbled across that. You know, everybody's talking about her invoking her right, the back and forth and all this other stuff. But when we just bring it down to the basics, if it's true, my point being, something's been going on behind the scenes. I've been telling you guys this for a week. I told you I don't know what it is, but it seems like these people are coming out of the woodworks with the bullish, right? The BS.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Just saying, right? So we knew we were sniffing something. And even when the information was released of the invocation, her invoking her rights, allegedly, we still missed it. We still missed it. Maybe it was because of all the distractions, Sandbar. Maybe it was. We're just like, oh, yeah, well, she invoked her right to remain silent. Now she's not cooperating. But we didn't think, because everybody is still talking about whether they've been interrogated or something like that. I still have questions almost on the daily in my email from somebody asking if I know if they've been interrogated separately or not. Now, I don't know. I absolutely don't know. I would have to assume, we're 10 months in, that there had to have been some type of interrogation at this point. Now, that's just a wild assumption, but I'm pretty sure it's true. Now, if you ask me when and how and where, and was it downtown, was it at their house, I don't know. All I'm simply saying is we're 10 months in. I'd have to assume, right? And assuming sometimes makes an ass out of you and me, right? Yes, that was the last distraction is the plan B. Now we're starting to integrate into plan B, and I called it last night. But again, it still didn't click for me. It wasn't until we were on our noon live that I'm like, click, click. And even still, as it's coming out of my mouth, and we're like, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. It still wasn't clicking for me. And then now we're getting, I kind of unwound from this morning. I've had like 3 cups of coffee. Like my brain is actually starting to wake up a little bit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did we stumble onto a critical piece of information that we didn't realize? I mean, we know it's a big deal if a mom, invokes her right to remain silent and stops cooperating with law enforcement, but it's telling me something. It's telling me something had to have gotten intense behind the scenes, because if it was just the status quo, there would be no need to invoke that type of right if you're just getting updates here and there about the case. There's nothing that's strenuous. There's nothing that's pressing that requires you to make that announcement to law enforcement. So that tells me, and I don't know why it wasn't clicking. That's it, Justin. Oops, I hit the wrong one. That's it. That's what I'm thinking. But do you guys know that this stuff was released? How many days ago was this stuff released? And still didn't click. I mean, we knew about it. We talked about it. But it didn't click. Delilah for 2028. I think we can all get on board with that. I think we'll have to start campaigning now. She's going to be America's cutest dog. Not that any of your dogs aren't cute. I'm not saying that. But just like our ugly children. I'm just joking. Somebody's going to clip that. That's okay. We're allowed to have satire too. We all think ours is the cutest. I remember when one of my granddaughters were born, and God, you know what? I think everybody has gone through this. But I remember Deanna. She's such a good little mommy. And anyways, when she had one of her kids, she pops it out. She pops her out, and of course, she's still a little groggy. And the face, and of course, it's the cutest little thing. But I think it was like a month or 2 later. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was her hair or something. She's like, I hope she grows out of that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that to almost 1,000 people. It wasn't for me. If she asks me about it, I'm going to lie. I didn't say that. But I remember that. CP has knowledge too. He isn't giving it up. They know damn well what happened. I believe that, Caroline, but belief and, evidence are two totally different things. We can have this all sketched out. We can have this all, figured out. Right. But if there's not one linking to the other, which I think circumstantially, circumstantially, if they have, the bits and pieces that I think that they might have, I think they have a fairly decent, at least building a fairly decent case. If everything that Miss Bobby has said is true. Now, I don't think like everything, I know that people have their opinions of her and stuff like that, but I think there was core things that she said. And not only that, because the hit team is on her so hard, it makes me believe that she has some truth in that, because they would not be trying to discredit this lady that bad. I mean, look what they're doing. They're now doing to the Lore Lodge, because he comes with facts, right? If you notice, the people that come with the facts and actually work the case are the ones that are attacked the hardest by this group that's hired by or elicited for help for a variety of reasons by the mom and stepdad. And now they're starting to hit the Lore Lodge. And actually, that's part of what we're going to be going over here in just a second. So it's nice to see everybody in chat. I'll go through here and try to read a few of you guys. We already have way too many people in here for me to really go through it too much. So Lisa, Lady Dragon, Tiffany, it's nice to see you. Shetty Pie, it's nice to see you. Caroline Mags, Lady Dragon, Justin for all. I think they pressed Edgar about his truck. That's why he was why he about lost his crap when E.T. brought it up. I can see where that could be possible. Oh yeah. Gosh, I wish, you know what? It's like to be a fly on the wall. To be the fly on the wall. Right? Our beautiful B. Betty fan. B. Betty fan. Truth in Time. MJ. Adrema, it's nice to see you. Tiffany, the real me too. Lorraine, it's nice to see you as well. Too Many Shoes. MJ. Laura. Dreamer G. It's nice to see you all here. Sam's Pretty Paranormal. It's nice to see you. Miss Fu. Hello. Bobby struck a nerve hard. Yes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Miss Fu, there's no... I think they sent that piece out as a hit piece for Miss Bobby. I really do. And I don't think they thought, that's the problem with these idiot channels. They don't play the tape through. They don't foresee. I mean, that's how your friend Crabtree got caught with his pants down. Literally. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to talk about that toilet. Oh. I don't even clean my toilet very often, right? I remember just I don't know if you got that message when I got into your chat. I'm like, I had to clean my toilet. Somebody's like, throw away the gloves. I'm like, what do you mean gloves? I'm not touching my toilet unless I have a 3-foot extension pool with a like, if I had to touch my toilet probably looked like hers. I'm sorry, it probably would. But they have stuff out there. There is no excuse to have a toilet that disgusting. I mean, it takes a lot of work. Like, you just don't clean, which, seems like it would be an obvious stretch. Why we wouldn't know, right? Just saying. I am not a clean freak whatsoever. I am not my mama. But I would never, and I mean never, have a toilet like that. I feel so bad for the toilet. Oh, good gracious. I need to shut up. Hey, could you do me a favor and shut up? Okay, we're done. We're done with poking the fun. So, you know, they're really upset. Actually, you know, we're not done poking the fun. These people are so freaking mean to everybody. You got somebody like the Lore Lodge. He's a nice kid. He does his work. He's very thorough in his work. He's done a great job building a quality channel through quality work. And because he doesn't say what they want, because he speaks the obvious, the absolute effing obvious. And what do? They start attacking the Lore Lodge. But the Lore Lodge has balls. You know those balls and backbones that I say are missing every now and again? Well, somebody started sending me some stuff, and I gotta say, it's pretty funny. We learned that I guess he was in Chlamydia's channel and decided to give her some money for her next test. See if she got rid of her name. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But clearly she needed the $10 more than he did. Yeah, that's what he said in it. I'm sorry, I can't. When I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll. It's what happens when it's later at night. This is why I don't go live with you guys later at night. I'm delusional from lack of sleep. It's exhausting being me. So anyways, then I go over to the Lore. You can't make this stuff up. And this is, you know, we are advocating for Sebastian William Drake Rogers. We're just taking a detour. So we know the Lore Lodge has been amazing, right? He did those 3 amazing pieces. We love Delusional Betty. Those 3 amazing pieces that he did, I think, a few months ago, maybe a month ago or something like that. And so those were really good and were a real hit, right? And then so he's been talking about the John Benet Ramsey case. And like I said, whenever I've been talking about Sebastian Rogers, I've been kind of commingling John Benet Ramsey in it too. I mean, if there's anything that the Lore Lodge and I agree on 100%, is that the problems of the past revisited this case. Okay, what do I mean that? You guys have been with me. You know I brought this up about how we should have learned so much from the John Benet Ramsey case that it should not have happened in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. And it was just recently that we found out that this crime scene, which it should have been a crime scene, it was a place where a missing boy, and according to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, that house in his bedroom, 2 bedrooms, because he has one at his father's house, should have been turned into a crime scene. And it wasn't. And therefore, all the law enforcement, the family visiting, the father that just came over and walked right in the house and right to the boy's room, that should have never happened. It should have never happened. That house should have been turned into a crime scene. And those are the policies and procedures for a runaway and or missing child, not for an abducted child, not for one that they believe is abuse is in the home. That's just for a child running away. Yes, you turn that house into a crime scene. And they didn't. They failed to do that. So now we know that at least initially the crime scene, that the potential crime scene, was contaminated. Now, how will that play later? I don't know. I really don't. But we do know from the mob crew that they did go back. Well, Miss Bobby's the one that told us, but then the mob crew went kind of back and started looking through, some footage, online news clips and stuff like that, and realized that there was a 3D imaging equipment out there to take images of the house, and it appeared like they're peering in the backyard, which should be a huge clue to us, because we don't see how anybody could have moved in that in the front of that house without being picked up on camera, right? And so we're not hearing of any camera footage until they get almost through or inside of that common area, and that's where all the footage, because they were more wide open. They just didn't believe that the cameras could catch them. Well, the cameras caught something, okay? We know that if we got the little dots on the screen, can you imagine what else? Can you imagine what else was caught that we don't know about, right? Somebody says, Whimsy says, Lore Lodge was on a panel today. Ooh, whose panel? I'd like to see that. I don't know. I really like the Lore Lodge. I still don't agree with him just yet on the JonBenét Ramsey case, but I am taking a step back because you guys know I'm doing the documentary. And I'm going to go and follow his research just to get a different take on it, since he is, I like his way of thinking. So I definitely want to see the flip side, because he absolutely believes that Pat and John are guilty. So it's not that I'm going to agree with him. Hey, Turkey Man, it's nice to see you. Hey. So I do want to get the other perspective, right? So I kind of slowed down. Thank God I haven't gotten so far in the project that if I show an alternate theory, and I think depending on if there's so much differences and it's not like a minor thing, I may end up splitting this documentary up and stating my part and stating the alternate part, like this is, because right now where I sit, I feel like there is a third party that did this to JonBenét. But I haven't, and with all the research I have done, especially with Lou Smith and the stuff that he brought forward, really leans that it's a third party. Now, Lore Lodge believes that the Ramseys had so much money, they've been able to buy their way out of jail this entire time. And I really do want to learn that perspective and see if I believe that holds water, or at least has value to be added if I think it's a possibility for me, because I'm the one doing it, right? So it's got to make sense in my mind. So we'll see. So I'm going to be doing some research. I'm going to be looking at his stuff. I think it'll be really interesting to see why he thinks Pat and John are responsible. I'm applying different metrics. One, that they were more affluent, which more affluent people would be, oh my God. No way, blessed mama. Did he? Oh, I got to see that. I'll download it. I ain't giving that be 1 red cent. 1 red cent. Well, who sits down and looks for a pen and writes a note? Somebody close. Somebody that had time. What if, just hear me out, what if somebody broke into that house before they ever got back from the Christmas party? Would they not have time to go through all their personal documents? Maybe find a check stub or a congratulation letter? Maybe sit downstairs and write this out and then go up and hide under a bed? I mean, somebody could have gotten in that house. I mean, everybody's thinking it was after they got in the house after this child left the house. What if they didn't? And what if they heard JonBenét wake up and go downstairs for the pineapple? There was no struggle in her bed. So it seems like when she went down for the pineapple, she never came back up. So, I mean, I've got a lot of questions, but this is one of my bigger documentaries. I mean, I worked on Summer Wells, and I will finish that up, but it got a little too sore for the obvious reasons, because that entire case I worked with, somebody else on it that hurt me very, very bad. So that kind of went, and we were working very hard on that. And I had to go back there to get some footage, because some of my some of the stuff I did in preparation for this did not film well. So I got to go take another retake of it to put it in the spot, because it's a long story, but you have to do it in certain things. I'm doing it in chunks and then going to seam them all together. But the way I started it is it's got to get done before I can move clip the other stuff to it. It's a long story of editing film and stuff like that, but I put that one on the back burner. I'll do that one another time. So I kind of refocused on the JonBenét Ramsey. It was either that or the Alec Murdaugh, and I'm kind of over the Alec Murdaugh, and JonBenét Ramsey is still like a cold case. So I wanted my hand with that. So I haven't figured out how I'm going to go with the story yet because I already had it written out, and I just needed to put it together, which is very time consuming to do. But now that I've been turned on to the Lore Lodge and his coverage of the Sebastian Rogers case, and how I value his research capabilities, and listening and hearing that he does not bode with my analysis of the John Benet Ramsey case, I want to hear his. So that's it in a nutshell. But I like him. I think he's a great person. He seems like he does a lot of great analysis. I don't know. What did it say, Betty? Why no pressure campaign for them, like the Laundries, Simon's Wells, etc.? Anyone know? Actually, I was going to go out there and we had talked about me doing something out in front of the Boulder Police Department. I was saying, after 30 years, they've never had a gathering of voices to get this case solved. And I'd like to go out there and help get the attention necessary that they're going to want to get this thing solved, right? So we've talked about it on this channel. We've never committed to anything on this channel. And now that I'm doing this, the mini documentary on it, and the Lore Lodge has a different opinion of it, I need to find out, because at the end of the day, no matter how we look at it, Boulder, Colorado's got to poop or get off the pot, right? If they can't get this done, they need to get the state investigators involved or the FBI. I don't care which, but it's been 30 years. It's time for them either to put up or shut up at this point, And that's just kind of where I'm at with the John Benet Ramsey case. I think it's time, 30 years. I think it's time for the country to find out what happened to that beautiful baby girl. Okay? And she deserves justice. I don't care if it's her parents or if it's a third party, but darn it, she deserves justice. Okay? She deserves justice. And she's gone without it for 30 years. So that is my only motivation in doing this. But either way, there were mistakes that were in the John Benet Ramsey case that were mimicked in the Sebastian Rogers case. And I just personally feel, and obviously the Lore Lodge has the same opinion, that this should not have happened in the Sebastian Rogers case. So I do appreciate that. You don't know if people have the same opinion as you or not when it comes to stuff like that. But long story short, I ended up coming here, and look what I have. It's like they're all the hate squad. This team that the mom and stepdad put together. Let's talk about who's on that team. You've got the likes of the BBQ, the GW, the QB, the Chlamydia, the SF, the sniffer-in-chief, Crabtree. You've got a lot of hands in the pot that they've elicited for help online. And these people are the worst of the worst people, right? These are the people that are convicted felons. These are people that are actively using illicit drugs. These are people that are willing and have no problem committing crimes online or offline. You've got this network of people. Even the so-called private investigator has done things like filed federal claims against people on behalf of people he attested that he was when he's not, because he's only himself. Did you guys hear that? I know that was convoluted, but that means he filed a federal action in someone else's name, attesting under oath that he was that person. That is a federal crime. He didn't mind doing it then. He doesn't mind being unscrupulous now. And when the heat got hot, what did he do? He manufactured reports for his client. That to me is disgusting. That to me is borderline obstruction of justice, in my opinion, because he's touting them as true and factual depictions when we all know they're not. So I saw here on the Lore Lodge, he's been going back and forth between SF, and apparently the back and forth ended with SF blocking him, because it shows, this is the last comment 2 hours ago, our show is live every Monday at 7 p.m. Pick a date and it's yours. And he posted that at SF investigate. Oh, it's because I'm blocked. Okay, there we go. I didn't go quiet. I didn't go quiet. I live on the West Coast. I'm 3 hours behind you. As long as you all funds go to now he's pulling up. I'm going to go on there, but as long as all your funds. But I think the Lower Lodge would say fine. He supports the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. But what a dumbass. I mean, SF is trying to proclaim he's for this child, bringing this child home. He'll go on somebody like Cluminati's channel, right? Chlamydia's channel, QB's channel, other piece of garbage channels that have done nothing. They haven't even put a flyer in the back of them to support Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And the only time they get off their fat, lazy asses and get out in those woods is for a photo op. So it looks like that's what they're doing, but never actually doing it. But he'll go on those channels. And somebody like the Lower Lodge, a historian, he's going to tell them, why doesn't SF, every time he goes on one of these channels, request the same request and show the receipts that every garbage, nasty, vile channel he goes on to toot his own horn, that they are also forced to send all of their funds to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children? As much as this man likes to flap his gums, he should be able to raise a lot of money for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. But we all like to see the train wreck. We all like to see the train wreck. So we know that. That's why he's scared. That's why he's pulling this nonsense. Somebody said that Lower Lodge would shame SF. He'd sit that boy down. And you know what the funny thing is that SF is older. I just said the Lower Lodge would sit that boy down. He does act like a child. That's probably why I forget it. The Lower Lodge is the truth teller and factual. Thank you, Shay. Exactly. But you know what? That's why SF is trying to get out of it by saying, donate your proceeds. When has he ever asked any channel to donate their proceeds? But he knows his ass is about to be tore the fuck up from the floor up. Excuse my language, Sonia and my pastors. I'm so sorry. I know Turkey Man's in here. That's probably the last word he wants to hear. I'm sorry, Turkey Man. It slipped out. But you know, I got to be honest with you. I think he would tear him up, and I think he knows that he'd get tore up. Okay. And so now he's, if you donate your proceeds, when has that man ever said that to anybody? He knows he's about to get tore up. He's trying to find his out. He's trying to find his out. Oh, his tail's between his legs, and he's like, well, if you tell. But you know what the thing is this guy here, the Lower Lodge, doesn't seem like he's hurting for money. I mean, it doesn't. And it seems like he would do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And if he could get this to show how incompetent SF is, he would donate the week's worth of freaking cash apps that he gets. The week's worth to the National Center. I'm not speaking on his behalf. I'm just saying, in my opinion. But since this douche only wants him to do the night he's there, I guarantee if he's gonna, I guarantee Aiden will get this man on. He will say, yeah, he'll comply with his demands. I really truly do believe. Because it's going to a good cause, right? The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and he gets to make this douchebag look like a douchebag. It's a win-win for everyone. And the Lower Lodge would get a write-off for it. I really do. I think it's a win-win for everybody. But I just find it awfully funny that SF is out here causing problems for this man. All he wants to do is be seen. That's all SF does. He doesn't care if he gets negative attention. All he wants is the attention. That's the kind of man we're dealing with. And he puts a facade. Have you seen him online versus like when he's in an interview versus what he truly is on X? If you look at his behavior on X, it doesn't bode with the behavior he tries to show the world of him. So that's why people come to him and then denounce him because they don't like him. Once they find and see all this stuff. And so I don't want to plug him any more than I'm plugging him. I like the Lower Lodge. Lower Lodge, quit communicating so much with him on your page because all you're doing is plugging him for a larger base. And there's too many psychotic idiots out there that will actually believe a snake poison. There hasn't been a whole lot on at night intelligence related to Sebastian Rogers. But Hong did provide an update. It says other neighbors saw something that night. Tell me, I'll pay you. So there's $250,000 reward for any information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But this is where I went into the lore lodge. It says everything we know about the disappearance of Sebastian so far. I hope everybody goes there and watches this video. It's quite long. I watched the whole entire 3 hours. It was very, very, very informational and just really provided a lot of information. Now, we don't want to, we haven't heard so much from our friend Nick, but you know, when I come here, I always get a laugh. If you guys haven't hit Nick up on X, please do so, because you can't eat money. And only smart people know you can't eat money. And I will be appearing on various national networks this coming week. So we want to make sure that Nick has all the good vibes to do great. I know he's on these networks for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and I can't wait to see him up there. The other last notice that I saw on here is you are weak. Do not string along people for your crap. I will unalive you. Thank you for the advice. Apparently somebody must have sent that to him. So again, just more strange crap coming from the nasty camp. Hong, like I said, we haven't heard so much from Hong. I like Hong. I think Hong's just I think he's a cool dude, you know? And I really like, he's just a no BS kind of guy, right? I mean, he really is. When I saw him, because I've talked to him only a couple times years ago on the phone about something else. And then I haven't seen these guys in a really long time. And then they're associated with a case that I'm covering. And it's, you know, so I got to see him when Nick kind of handed the baton over to him. And he was just like, he don't give a, you know what, and just wants to get to the bottom of everything. So it was really, really interesting. And now we haven't heard from him since that time. And then, of course, he came back. I don't know where he was, but all of a sudden he pops back in. And so he writes, how convenient. Bring Chris along. I'd like to inquire about the reason behind his deception regarding Seth's polygraph test, which he told our team didn't take place. Additionally, I'd like to discuss the results of the test. If your client stops taking Xanax before polygraphs, it might reduce the number of tests required. And that was, again, to the piece of, you know what, I didn't go quite blah, 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 blah. So I don't know what this is about, the polygraph, but no, I have never heard other than, well, at first we heard that Chris Proudfoot had taken a polygraph test, that all the parents had taken a polygraph test, that everybody had been cleared and exonerated. We learned that back in March, right? Early March, the end of February, they've all been cooperative. Nothing to see over here. You know, of course, Chris was the one leading the charge on that and making sure everybody knew that all the parents were cooperating. All the parents did everything law enforcement asked. All the parents took the polygraph test. Nothing to worry about. They've all been cleared. You know, it's something else. And then we find out late March that that is a big old fat what?
Liar. 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 Liar.
Just saying, right? We found out that was a lie. So Nancy Grace offered them a polygraph test. Name a place and time, he says. Name a place. Oh, thank you, Melanie. Name a place and time. Very simple. No problem, she says. I'll get with my people. We'll get a hold of you. And we'll get you scheduled. Great. Everybody's on game. We need she wants one. Chris wants to give one. I mean, he was trying to give TBI one. TBI's the one that said, whoa, Mr. Chris. We don't need that from you. You were so far away. Why would you think we would want a polygraph test for a stepfather that has 5 CPS reports and has been wanting their stepson gone since like October 2022? We don't need that. Don't worry about it. We see your car, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We don't want that polygraph. Okay?
You're a liar.
Liar.
Get the point?
Nice try, but you're a liar. Liar, liar, liar. Nice try, but you're a liar.
All right. So Nancy Grace says, "Hey, I got everything all set up. We just need to know where you'd like to take it." Oh, well, I talked to TBI and they said, no, you don't want to take that. We don't want you to take a polygraph test. You can't take a polygraph test with Nancy Grace. Who told you we didn't want it? Keep that. Don't take a What would ever make you think that law enforcement would want a polygraph test from you? I mean, you're the kind of man we never look for. 5 CPS reports. Evidence that you've been trying to get rid of your stepson since October 2022. We don't want no stinking polygraph test. Tell Nancy we told you not to take it with her. Just go tell Nancy we told you not to take it with her.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Oh, Mr. Turkey Man, you want to call in? I'll open the phones up for you. Guys, don't call in. We'll listen to what Mr. Turkey Man has to say. Bless us with your blessings. Pray for me. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work there, Turkey Man. It's a lot of... Oh, let me get the thing on. Hold on a second. Hopefully it doesn't kill my sound. Looks like it took. Yeah, Turkey Man, if you want to call in, 724-252-8070. Unless you were telling me to call you when I got off live. Whichever it is, it was just a phone, so. He didn't take the lie detector test because Nancy would tell us the results. That's it. And that was my whole thing. That was my absolute entire thing, is that Nancy, she said that she called him and he said no, that TBI did not want him taking the polygraph with her. And why would they only be telling Chris this but not Seth? It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, to me, it really doesn't make that whole statement, if you play the tape through, doesn't really make sense. How did the conversation get started? What is the reason they would tell you they don't want you taking a polygraph test? Usually it's law enforcement trying to get people to take polygraph tests. It's usually their attorneys telling them, don't do that. I have yet in the history, unless this is true, this is going to be my first experience that I've heard law enforcement tell somebody not to take a polygraph test. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that the law department or the investigative body would prefer them being the ones that do it, or somebody that they hire that they know and trust to do it. I mean, I do get that, but I've never heard, again, this is true. This might be true. Well, hello there, Mr. Turkey Man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. You're sounding good tonight.
Yeah. Well, I got out of the house. I feel like I made a difference in the community. I got yelled at by the pooch. We had a good day today.
Well, I hope you had a good New Year so far.
I spent it with my pooch. Couldn't be better.
I heard that. Hey, I was going to ask you, I have not heard in a while, but how about the Idaho 4? What's going on there?
Sure. So I did do a little bit of an update. They're in the process right now of delaying and wrestling over what's going to be presented at trial. Trial has been scheduled for August of this year, so the summer of this year. But they're arguing over so much discovery, and she's trying to hit the prosecution with sanctions and trying to get key pieces of evidence tossed. But I don't think it's going to be successful. And that's kind of where we're at. So it sounds like it's moving forward, but I don't know why I have this gut instinct that it's going to be pushed past August. Like I can already see how the defense is setting everything up, and it looks like they're going to try to even push that August date even further.
Well, did they tear down the house or the crime scene? I'll call it crime scene.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but Olivia was. She was there and recorded the entire destruction of the house. But yes, they tore the whole entire house down.
Well, any of that, would it affect any of the trial or the evidence or anything?
I think it does have an effect in some reasons, in some ways, because now they've removed the option for the jurors to go through that house. That house was very unique. It was a little choppy. It seems like it was one of those houses that were added on, kept getting added onto. So the flow wasn't really that desirable, so to speak. It was kind of choppy. So I think that perspective in person would have been super important to the jury. And seeing how he truly got in and got out, I think would be super important to the jury. But I think the most important that's missing from that is the feel they get when they get there. Because I knew as soon as I got there, my very first time and walked around the house the very first time, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that it was none of their friends. I don't know how I knew. But when I looked at that house and saw it, something just told me we're looking in the wrong area. I just knew. I knew that moment. And that's to me, that's what the jury's going to miss.
Well, you pointed out something really, I think the same thing there, because the lawyer that murdered his wife and his son,
Mm-hmm.
and you covered it when they went to the
kennels. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that's I think that's one of the things that's really important, being able to go and put a picture, because a picture, you can see, you can put a house up for sale and look at it, and it won't give you the picture of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're selling a house, a realtor, I think you've done that a little bit over the years, and you can put a picture up there, but it's not the same as going and looking at it.
Yeah, they've got the 3D images now that really give you a good idea of levels and stuff, but it's still not the same. I've been in courtrooms where they've used the digital. It's not as impactful. I'm sorry. When you're going for a murder, you want the most impact as possible, in my opinion. And it removes the impact when you show a video versus taking them out to the site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things in that case I think would be it's going to be interesting when it happens, because I think a lot of things that you brought out, I still remember you guys being on scene on that. I want to give you a suggestion. I want to get up here and give somebody else a chance to get on. I just want to get a chance to talk to you. But if you go Google this, it was a young boy back in, I guess it was 69 or 70, Timmy Martin. He was lost in the Smokies.
Kelly or Terry?
Timmy Martin.
Timmy Martin. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was lost in the Smokies. It was back in, I'm gonna say in 69, I think. Might have been 1970, but in that range. And he was lost. His parents, and they never did find him. And it was the most, curious thing of what happened, because they was, if you look out on the internet about that, and look at the
June
history of that.
14th, 1969, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee at the age of 6.
Right.
Yep.
And he was, the parents had eyes on him, and he was dressed in a red shirt, and his parents went over and he just disappeared, and they never got either hair of his largest. They called out the National Guard and everything else, and it was the largest manhunt for someone in the Smokies ever. And it was, to this day, it's still a mystery.
Yeah, they said they still haven't found him or know what happened to him.
Nothing.
Wow.
And yeah, that's one of the ones that a young child missing that still pulls my heartstrings on that. But I appreciate what you do, and we appreciate you, and you stay in the fight, and I hope get justice for this young man, because he needs justice.
He does. He does. Will you say a prayer before you get off the phone for all of us? A lot of people are struggling with something this day and age.
Well, I sure will. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come to you. We ask, Lord, that you would be with each one that's hearing this, and we don't know the needs, but you do. Ask, Lord, that you put a hedge around them, put a hand around them, and let them know that you love them and you're there for them. And we ask, Lord, that you just be with Betty in a special way this year, that she has a peace, and she has a deliverance from all the haters that seem like they want to come out and hate on her. And we ask, Lord, that you just protect her and give her a comfort. Ask, Lord, you be with our country. We know that we're going through hard times in our country, and all that's going on and divided. And we ask, Lord, that we would reunite with you, Lord, that we would come closer to you. And we thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. We ask these things in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Turkey Man. Don't forget to gobble on your way out. Oh, that's great. That's great. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your thoughts on this and everything else. So, but getting back to, I think that was it on Hong's. Where else do we have? And then we got Lauren from Facebook. She's posted some more stuff out, which is very interesting. If you guys haven't seen her, I know I'm not going to go over it because I know that Justin went over it earlier. I was in his chat when he was going over her stuff, which I've been following her for quite some time. And it's just nice to see the work. And she's really doing a great job at clipping this stuff and showing receipts of these statements that this unscrupulous PI and the mom and stepdad's team have been putting out. And it's really starting to look not just bad, but really horrible. Absolutely horrible for the mom and stepdad to be dealing with all of this shenanigans and knowing that it can all be sourced back to them because of the people they elicited for help. Eliciting people for help and literally causing this mayhem in people's personal lives that don't bode with what you want them to say or somebody to say. It's no good. Okay. This is America. We all have our freedoms. We all have our right to speak. We all have our rights to our own opinions, our own conclusions. And if people don't like them, they can go somewhere else. They can go somewhere else. I've got to deal with their nonsense that doesn't even make sense. They can definitely deal with some common sense. Just saying. So let's not waver. We still have Sebastian Rogers. Please, guys, this is my request to you, is support the good creators that are doing this, that are doing the work to uncover the truth. Please just support them. Okay? Like even Jennifer Coffindaffer, right? She's been coming under heavy fire from these hate channels. She's a nice lady. She's freaking FBI. She's not with all the shenanigans, right? She did a show today. There was only 77 people in her chat because it wasn't about Sebastian Rogers. It was about somebody else. You guys should have been over there in her chat room supporting her, right? Because that's how we show our creators love. We show our creators love by supporting all their work, you know, even when it's not about the topic of conversation that we want. I mean, there was nobody else live. There was really no excuse for people not to be in her live supporting her. There should have been a lot more, in my opinion. Julie Skolnick is another one. Thank you, Elizabeth. You know, these are people that are doing great work. So even if they're not talking about the topic of conversation we're on, please continue to support them, because guess what? They still need our support, whether this case is closed and a new one starts or not. We should be helping them with their algorithms, always be giving them thumbs up when you're in Brittany J's and Justin for All. You know, that's what helps them get into that algorithm. So do your part and keep your good content creators. Because trust me, the hate channels are doing all this stuff for that nonsense, that vile garbage. And if you don't want that vile garbage running supreme on these YouTube and other social media streets, when you see your content creator, make sure you're giving them that thumbs up so they rise above in that algorithm. So the good content with the factual information, not disinformation or misinformation campaigns, are what is trending on social media. That's your part out there, okay? That's the audience part out there. Our part is to bring the information. Your part is to make sure it's circulated. So you all do your part. We love you guys. I did want to answer this. I did start, so I didn't forget. It's for you, Black Hawk. Black Hawk said, Betty, by any chance, the next time you speak to Seth, can you ask if Terry showed up that day while he was at the house? I will ask him because, and the reason why I usually don't take requests to ask, I will ask him the next time I'm on the phone with him because he has answered that already. I just forgot his answer. So I know that is already out there. So I don't think he'll have a problem with answering that. But we'll see. I'll ask him when I can. Now, when we do the next live, we're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers. I think to be on the safe side this week, Friday, guys, we're going to be here for a little bit. We're going through each and every one of the deception deck cards, and we're going to read the front and the back of each of these cards just so we know what's on them. I'm going to keep them in its order. And from moving forward, every time we hear an interview, not just in this case, all cases, we're going to start applying this deception deck to those cases and see if they hold water. Not that we fact find over here, do we not? Right? We don't know who Deception Detective is. We're just taking his word for it. We're going to put his cards to the test. So I think it'll be kind of interesting. This is kind of one of the funner things that I envisioned when I ordered these. So I think the first thing, I tried to start reading through them. I'm like, no, I don't want to read through them yet. So I only got through like 5 of the cards, and then I put them back in, and I'm like, no, I want to do this as a group. We're all going to do it for the first time. These are channel cards. So I did read, I will be honest, I read 5 of the cards, 4 or 5 of the cards, and I put them back in the deck. So I'm not opening this deck until Friday, 10 a.m. Yes, I did schedule that. We will be back on schedule by Friday, 10 a.m. We are going to go over these cards. You're not going to want to miss it. And if you guys want to let the Deception Detective know, Bullhorn Betty grabbed a pair of his cards and that she is going to be just reading them. That's all we're doing on Friday, okay? We're not going to be applying them to any interview. We're just going to understand what's on each and every one of the cards first. I think that's the first step, okay? I think that's the first step. And then after we know what's on each and every one of these cards, then we're going to start going back and making sure we do what? apply the cards to the statements. We're going to start challenging ourselves to be more in tune with what kind of talk?
Warning, warning, bullshit alert.
Okay, so we're going to be more keen on the level of,
That was bullshit.
now that you guys are getting the drift. Because, I hit my camera. I don't know why it went off. I must have lost, whatever. Let me get my thing back up. I was playing too much. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get him back. Why won't it do it? It changed my camera. It disconnected my camera. What did I do with my camera? Hold on. I don't have a problem here. Well, I do have a problem. Went back to my internal camera instead of my HD camera. Like, what in the actual, you know what? There we go. Now we're back. So now StreamYard just changes your settings? What in the world is going on? Oh, well. So, long story short, be here Friday 10 a.m. if you guys want to go over the deception deck. I think this is going to be awesome. I think this will be interesting. Once we start going through all of these cards, we're going to start applying these cards to the statements and see if we can start figuring out who is being deceptive with the deceptive deck. All right, guys, enough of that. I love you guys. You guys have a great night. Tomorrow is going to be Happy Hump Day. I wish I could be welcoming you in on Wednesday morning. If I can, this is just a big if, guys. If I do come live in the morning, it's going to be super, super early, okay? And when I say super, super early, it's going to probably be about 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. that I go live if I go live in the morning. Otherwise, it's going to be much like today. You're not going to see me until tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll go over everything at that time. So if I'm not live first thing in the morning, you won't get me until the afternoon. I just want to let you guys know that. That's going to be the way it's going to be for Wednesday and Thursday. And then by Friday, we should be back on schedule with our regular scheduled show. I don't know when I'm going to go live because I don't know. I'm all over the place right now. I've got a lot of obligations that I've already committed to with my county and the work for the county. So we're going to have to bounce this live show around just for a couple more days, okay? So I love you guys. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless y'all. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.